The phone slipped in Daniel Reeves' sweaty hand as he stumbled barefoot onto the front porch, the screen lighting his face in the blue-white glow of panic. His other hand kept scraping through his hair like he could pull the fear out by the roots. The street was still asleep, but his voice wasn't. 911, what's your emergency? Daniel swallowed hard. My wife is gone. She's not here. Sir, take a breath. What's your address? He rattled it off too fast, words tripping over each other. Behind him, the front door hung open, and the house looked like it was holding its breath too. Okay, what's your name? Daniel Reeves. Please, just send someone. Olivia wouldn't do this. Wouldn't do what, sir? Leave. She wouldn't leave without telling me. His voice cracked on the last word, and he cleared his throat like the sound embarrassed him. She always texts. Always. Is she in danger? Did you see someone take her? No. I woke up and she was just gone. He turned in place, scanning the driveway like she might appear if he stared hard enough. Her car was still there. That made his stomach twist worse. Her car's here. Her purse is here. Her phone is upstairs. Stay on the line. Officers are on the way. When was the last time you saw her? Last night. We went to bed. She was right next to me. He looked back into the hallway, like the shadow of the bedroom could contradict him. I heard the alarm go off at, I don't know, maybe 6, but I thought it was a dream. Do you have children in the home? No. Any history of her leaving before? Any medical issues, depression? No. He said it so quickly it sounded rehearsed, even to him. He slowed down. No, nothing like that. We were fine. The line went quiet for a beat, the operator's calm on the other end almost unbearable. Sir, are there any signs of forced entry? Daniel stepped back into the doorway, eyes flicking across the living room. The couch cushions were neat. The family photos were straight. The place looked like a catalog, like someone had staged a life and forgot to add the people. No, nothing. It's normal. Except it wasn't. His skin kept crawling as if the house knew something he didn't. Red and blue light swept across the walls moments later. A patrol car rolled up, then another. The first officer up the walkway raised a hand, voice steady. Mr. Reeves? Yes, I'm Daniel. Please, my wife, Olivia, she's missing. The officer's eyes moved past Daniel's shoulder into the house, then back to his face. Okay, we're gonna help you. Start from the beginning. Tell me exactly what happened. Daniel tried. He really did. But every sentence felt like it was slipping away from him, like the details were oily and refused to stay in his hands. I woke up at, I don't know, around 7. The bed was cold. Not all the way cold, but like she'd been gone a while. I swallowed. I called her name. Nothing. I checked the bathroom, kitchen. Then I saw her phone on the nightstand, and He spread his hands, helpless. She never goes anywhere without it. You said her purse is here? Yes, by the entry table. Daniel pointed so sharply his fingers shook. Another officer stepped inside, careful, scanning the floor. Any note, anything written? No. Daniel's eyes darted up the stairs. Her shoes are still in the closet. Her favorite coat, too. The first officer kept his tone neutral, but his questions sharpened. What was her mood yesterday? Anything unusual? Daniel gave a quick laugh that wasn't laughter. No, we ate dinner. We talked about... He stopped. He didn't want to say money. He didn't want to say tension. He wanted to say normal. We talked about weekend plans, he finished thinly. And you didn't argue. Daniel froze for half a second. No. The officer held Daniel's gaze a little longer than comfortable. Sir, it's okay to be honest. It helps us. Daniel's chest rose and fell too fast.
We had a small disagreement, that's all, nothing serious. A disagreement about what? Daniel's jaw tightened. Bills. Everyone has bills. The officer nodded, writing it down, but his eyes stayed sharp. Does your wife have friends or family nearby? She has a friend from work, Mia, and her sister lives 2 towns over. Okay, we're gonna take down names and numbers. We'll also want to do a quick walkthrough of the house. Is that all right? Yes, please. Daniel stepped aside quickly. Too quickly. Neighbors started drifting outside. A woman across the street hugged her robe tighter, whispering into her phone. Someone else stood on their porch, staring without shame. Daniel could feel the eyes like heat on his back. He hated it. His throat burned. A third car arrived. A woman stepped out, not in uniform. She moved like she belonged anywhere she stood. Calm, measured, a clipboard tucked under her arm. Detective Mara Collins. She approached Daniel with an expression that wasn't cold, but wasn't warm either. Professional sympathy, the kind people gave when they'd seen grief before and knew it could be real or useful. "Mr. Reeves," she said, "I'm Detective Collins. I'm sorry we're meeting like this." Daniel's lips parted. "Please, find her. We'll do everything we can." She glanced past him into the house. "I need to ask you a few questions. Some will feel personal. I'm not trying to upset you. I'm trying to understand." Daniel nodded too fast. "Ask anything." "Tell me about Olivia," Mara said. "What was she like? Routine, habits, anything she always did?" Daniel blinked, searching for the right answer. She's organized. She makes lists. She wakes up early, makes tea first. She always plays music in the shower." His voice softened for a second, and his eyes glassed over. "She sings, even when she thinks no one can hear." Mara watched him. "And yesterday, did she sing?" I don't remember." "That's okay." Mara's pen moved. "What time did you both go to bed?" "Around 10. "Did she receive any calls, messages? Was she upset?" "No." Mara's eyes lifted. "Mr. Reeves, I'm going to ask you something direct. Did Olivia ever mention wanting to leave, divorce?" Daniel's face changed so fast it was like watching a mask slip and snap back. "No," he said, tight. Mara held the silence, let it hang there until the truth started pressing against the edges. Daniel exhaled sharply. She said she felt stuck sometimes, but she didn't mean leaving me. She meant life, work, stress. Did she ever say she felt unsafe? Daniel's mouth went dry. Unsafe? With me? He sounded offended, wounded. "No, never." "Did you ever track her?" Mara asked, voice even. "Check her phone, her location, her emails?" Daniel's eyes widened. "No, why would I do that?" "Some couples share locations. Some people get anxious." Daniel swallowed. "We were fine." Mara looked toward the staircase. "You said her phone is upstairs." "Yes. Can you show me?" He started up the stairs ahead of her, moving like the steps were a test. At the bedroom door, he paused, then pushed it open. The room was neat, too neat for a morning like this. The bed was made, except for one side, slightly wrinkled. Daniel pointed to the nightstand. "There." Mara picked up the phone carefully, like it could bite. "Do you have the passcode?" Daniel answered immediately. 4821. Mara's eyes flicked to him. A small detail, but it landed. People usually hesitate when giving someone else's passcode, even a spouse's. Daniel didn't. She unlocked it. Notifications. Nothing urgent. No goodbye message. No frantic texts. Just quiet. Mara looked around the bedroom, slow. "Where's Olivia's purse normally?" "Downstairs by the entry." "Her keys?" Daniel frowned. "On the hook, I think." Mara turned to Daniel. "Mr. Reeves, if Olivia walked out of this house by choice, what would she take?" Daniel's throat tightened. "Everything. Her phone, keys, purse, her coat." His voice rose.
"She'd take everything." Mara nodded once, like she agreed. "Then we have to consider other possibilities." Daniel's face drained. "Like what?" "Like she didn't leave by choice," Mara said. Daniel stared at her, breathing hard, like his body couldn't decide whether to collapse or fight. Downstairs, an officer called up, "Detective, we've got neighbors asking questions." Mara replied, "Tell them we'll update when we can."
Then she turned back to Daniel, softer but firmer. "Mr. Reeves, I need you to stay available today. Don't leave town, don't turn your phone off." Daniel's voice broke. "You think I'd leave? My wife is missing." Mara didn't argue. She just watched him the way people watch storms. "I'm going to have officers look through the house and yard. We'll also contact Olivia's family and co-workers. We'll check hospitals. We'll check traffic cameras." Daniel nodded, but his eyes were drifting again, like he was listening to another voice in his head. As Mara walked toward the stairs, she caught the faintest scent in the air. Not perfume, not food, something sharper, like fresh paint, like something recently covered. She stopped near a door off the hallway. Daniel noticed and stepped quickly between her and the door, smiling too fast. "That's just the basement. Storage. It's a mess." Mara looked at him. "When was the last time you went down there?" Daniel's smile held, but his eyes didn't. "Last week, maybe? I don't know." Mara nodded like that was fine, but she wrote it down anyway. And upstairs, Daniel stood very still, staring at the basement door like it could hear him thinking. Outside, the neighbors whispered. Inside, the house stayed quiet. And somewhere in the silence, the perfect husband's world started to crack. Daniel stayed in the living room while officers moved through the house like quiet shadows. Every time a floorboard creaked upstairs, his shoulders jumped. He tried to look useful, tried to look like a man waiting for the love of his life to come back through the door, but his hands didn't know where to rest. They kept smoothing the front of his shirt, wiping at nothing. Detective Mara Collins stood near the entry table, watching him without making it obvious. She had seen panic before. Real panic was messy. It spilled. It forgot to perform. Daniel's panic had edges. It seemed contained. An officer stepped toward her. "Detective, we checked the perimeter. Gates are locked, no obvious sign of forced entry." Mara nodded. "Any cameras on the street?" "Neighbor across has a doorbell cam. He's willing to share it." Mara turned slightly. "Good, start there." Daniel heard the word camera and looked up too fast. "What does that mean? You think someone came to the house?" Mara kept her tone steady. "It's standard. We check everything." Daniel swallowed. "Okay, yes, do what you have to do." Mara studied his face for a beat. "Mr. Reeves, do you have any idea who would want to hurt Olivia?" He shook his head quickly. "No, no one. She's loved. Everyone likes her." "You're sure?" "I would know," he snapped, then immediately softened as if he caught himself. "I'm sorry, I'm just scared." Mara held the silence long enough for Daniel to fill it. He didn't. Her phone buzzed. An officer texted, "Neighbor video requested. On the way." Mara tucked the phone away. "Let's call Olivia's friend, Mia. You mentioned her." Daniel's eyes flickered. "Yes, Mia. She works with Olivia at the clinic. Do you have her number?" Daniel pulled out his phone, hands trembling just enough to look natural. He scrolled, then hesitated like he couldn't find it, then handed it over. "Here." Mara dialed, put it on speaker. It rang twice. "Hello? Mia Carter? This is Detective Mara Collins. I'm calling about Olivia Reeves." Silence. Then, "Oh my God, is she okay?" Mara's voice stayed calm. "We're trying to locate her. Daniel reported her missing this morning." A shaky inhale. "Missing? That doesn't make sense."
Daniel leaned toward the phone. "Mia, it's me. I woke up and she was gone. Have you heard from her?" Mia's voice went quiet, then sharper. "Daniel, are you serious?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, she didn't say she was leaving. She didn't say she was going anywhere." Mara asked, "When was the last time you spoke to Olivia?" "Yesterday evening," Mia said. "We texted." "What about?" Mia hesitated. "Just life." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Mia, please." Mia exhaled hard. "Okay, fine. She was upset." "Upset about what?" Mara asked. Mia's voice dropped. about feeling watched. Daniel's head snapped up. Watched? What is she talking about? Mia didn't answer him immediately. Olivia told me she felt like she couldn't breathe lately, like every move she made was being measured. Mara's eyes stayed on Daniel. Did she say why? She said Daniel was intense, Mia murmured. Not violent, just intense. Like if she didn't reply in 5 minutes, he'd call twice. If she went to the store, he'd ask what aisle she was in. Stuff like that. Daniel's voice rose. That's not true. That's not fair. Mara cut in calmly. Mia, did Olivia ever mention divorce? Another pause. Then Mia whispered, yes. Daniel froze, like the air had turned to ice. Mara's voice stayed steady. Did she say when? She said she was thinking about it, Mia said. She said she couldn't keep living like she was someone's project. Daniel spoke like he was forcing the words out. Mia, why would you say that? Olivia and I were fine. Mia's voice broke slightly. Daniel, she cried on the phone. She never cries. She kept saying, I love him, but I feel trapped. Mara asked, did she say she had a plan to leave? Mia inhaled. She said she was saving money quietly. She asked me about staying with me for a few days if she needed to. Daniel took a step back like he'd been hit. No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't do that. Mia's voice hardened. Maybe you didn't know her the way you thought you did. Mara kept it professional. Mia, I'm going to ask you to send us those texts. Can you do that? Yes, I'll send everything. Detective, please, if something happened to her... We're working on it, Mara said. If she contacts you, call us immediately. Mia's last words were barely a whisper. Okay. The call ended. Daniel stood in the quiet like he didn't trust his own legs. His throat moved as he swallowed, but no sound came out. Mara watched him carefully. You didn't mention Olivia was considering leaving. Daniel blinked rapidly. Because she wasn't. Mara didn't argue. She let the truth sit between them like a third person at the table. Another officer entered with a tablet. Detective, neighbor's doorbell cam shows no one approaching the front door between midnight and 7. Mara nodded. Any movement at all? Only Mr. Reeves letting the dog out at 5:58 a.m. Daniel's eyes narrowed. That's normal. Mara tilted her head. You have a dog. Daniel hesitated. Too long. Yes, Baxter. The officer added, but we didn't see the dog in the house. Daniel's face tightened. He's at my brother's for the weekend. Mara's voice stayed smooth. Where does your brother live? Daniel answered fast. Across town. Mara nodded. We'll confirm. Daniel's breathing picked up. Why does any of this matter? My wife is missing. It matters because details matter, Mara said softly, especially when they change. Daniel's eyes flashed. They're not changing. Mara's phone buzzed again. Another message. Olivia's sister was on her way. 30 minutes later, a woman burst through the front door like a storm. Olivia's sister, Tessa, eyes red and wild. Daniel, where is she? She shouted, rushing toward him. Daniel stood, hands half raised, like he didn't know if he was allowed to touch her. Tessa, we don't know. I woke up and she was gone. Tessa's face twisted. Gone how? Gone like she left, or gone like something happened? Daniel flinched. Why would you say that?
Because she told me she was scared. Tessa snapped. The room went still. Mara stepped forward calmly. Miss Reeves, I'm Detective Collins. Can you tell me what Olivia said? Tessa's hands shook as she wiped her cheeks. She said he was controlling. She said he didn't hit her, but it didn't matter because it felt like he owned her. She pointed at Daniel. She said you made her feel small. Daniel's voice cracked. That's not true. I loved her. Tessa laughed once, bitter. Love doesn't feel like a cage. Daniel's face hardened, then softened again. Tessa, please, this isn't helping. Mara asked, Did Olivia ever say she planned to leave soon? Tessa nodded. She told me last week she was thinking about packing a bag and staying with Mia for a few days. Her eyes narrowed at Daniel. She said she needed air. Daniel whispered, "She didn't mean that." Tessa stepped closer, voice shaking with anger. "Then why did she call me at 2 a.m. 2 nights ago, crying?" Daniel went pale. She called you?" "Yes," Tessa said. "She said she didn't recognize herself anymore." Mara's gaze flicked to Daniel again. "Mr. Reeves, you told officers you were fine, no big problems." Daniel's jaw clenched. "We had normal stress." Mara's voice stayed low. "Normal stress doesn't usually produce midnight phone calls for help." Daniel's eyes darted toward the hallway again, toward the basement door. Mara noticed. She stepped slightly to the side so she could see his face more clearly. "Mr. Reeves, is there anywhere in this house Olivia could be? Attic? Basement? Crawl space?" Daniel forced a laugh that didn't match his eyes. "Basement is just storage." Mara's tone remained gentle but firm. "Then you won't mind us checking." Daniel's smile froze in place, and for the first time since the sirens arrived, his voice sounded small. "Do you really need to?" Daniel's throat tightened so hard it hurt to swallow. He forced air into his lungs like he'd forgotten how breathing worked. "Of course," he said too quickly. "Of course you can check. I told you, it's just storage." Detective Mara Collins didn't move immediately. She let the silence stretch long enough for discomfort to bloom. Daniel's eyes flicked toward the hallway again, then back to her face. "Lead the way," she said calmly. Daniel nodded and walked ahead of them, each step heavier than the last. The hallway suddenly felt narrow. The air felt thick. The basement door stood at the end like it had always been there, like it had always been waiting. He reached for the knob and hesitated just a fraction of a second before twisting it open. "There's no light switch down there, just the pull string." An officer stepped past him with a flashlight anyway. The stairs creaked under their weight. The beam of light cut through the dark, catching dust in the air. The basement smelled faintly sharp. Mara paused halfway down the stairs and inhaled. "Did you paint recently?" she asked casually. Daniel blinked. "What? No." She stepped fully into the basement now. The floor was concrete. Shelves lined one wall, boxes stacked neatly. Too neatly. One officer walked slowly across the floor, flashlight scanning the surface. The beam paused over a section near the back wall. "Detective?" he said quietly. Mara stepped over. The concrete looked slightly lighter there, smoother, newer. Daniel's voice came from behind them, strained. "I fixed a crack a few weeks ago." Mara crouched down, fingers brushing over the surface. It was smooth, too smooth compared to the rest. "When exactly?" she asked. "I don't remember. 2, maybe 3 weeks ago?" Mara didn't look up. "Do you have the receipt for the materials?" Daniel swallowed. I don't keep receipts." An officer tapped the surface lightly with the butt of his flashlight. The sound was dull. He tapped a different part of the basement floor. Solid. He tapped the lighter patch again. A hollow echo answered. The room went very still. Daniel's breathing became loud in the silence. Mara stood slowly. "Mr. Reeves, when was the last time you saw your wife alive?" Daniel's eyes widened. "Last night, I told you." Mara held his gaze. "Then you won't mind if we examine this area more closely." Daniel took a step back, almost stumbling. "You're making a mistake." Mara's expression didn't change. "Bring the tools." 2 officers moved quickly. One went upstairs to retrieve equipment from the patrol car. Daniel's chest rose and fell faster now. He ran a hand through his hair again, pacing the small basement space like he was looking for air. "This is insane," he muttered. "You think I would never hurt her." Mara's voice was calm, but it carried weight. "Then let's clear it up." Upstairs, Tessa stood frozen at the top of the stairs, listening. Her hand covered her mouth. Daniel looked up at her, panic flashing across his face. "Tessa," he called, voice cracking. Tell them I love her." Tessa didn't move. The officer returned with a sledgehammer and a chisel. Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. "You don't have a warrant." Mara met his eyes. "You gave us permission to search." Daniel opened his mouth, then closed it again. The first strike landed. Concrete cracked. The sound echoed through the basement like a gunshot. If you think you know what they're about to find, pause right now and drop your theory in the comments, because what's under that concrete will change everything. Daniel flinched violently. The second strike split the surface wider. Dust filled the air. Daniel started shaking his head over and over. No, this isn't... Mara didn't look at him anymore. Her eyes stayed on the growing hole. The third strike broke through. The officer knelt, brushing away debris carefully. Something dark showed beneath. Fabric. The flashlight beam steadied. Daniel let out a sound that didn't sound human. It was a strangled gasp that broke halfway through. Mara's jaw tightened. "Keep going," she said quietly. More concrete chipped away. The fabric was wrapped tightly. A tarp. The officer pulled gently, uncovering more. A pale hand slipped into view. Tessa screamed from the top of the stairs. Daniel collapsed backward onto the bottom step, staring at the hand like it didn't belong to this world. "No," he whispered. "No." Mara's voice was steady, but heavy. "Secure the scene." Officers moved quickly now. Radios crackled, gloves snapped on. Daniel rocked slightly where he sat, eyes wide and unblinking. "I didn't mean..." he started, then stopped himself. Mara turned slowly toward him. "You didn't mean what?" she asked. Daniel's mouth trembled. "I didn't mean for it to..." He stopped again. Mara crouched down so she was level with him. "Mr. Reeves, we're going to read you your rights." Daniel's face drained of color. "This is a mistake. You don't understand." Mara's voice didn't change. "Daniel Reeves, you are under arrest for the suspected homicide of Olivia Reeves." The words hung in the basement air. Homicide. Daniel stared at the officers as they lifted him gently but firmly to his feet. "I loved her," he said, louder now. "You don't know what she was like. You don't know what she did to me." Mara's eyes sharpened slightly. "What did she do?" Daniel's lips parted. For a split second, something dark flickered there. "She was leaving," he hissed. The words slipped out before he could catch them. Mara didn't miss it. "You said she wouldn't leave," she replied quietly. Daniel's eyes darted around the basement like he was searching for a version of reality that still made sense. "She was confused," he said. "Confused about us." Officers cuffed his wrists behind his back. Daniel didn't fight. He just kept talking. "I gave her everything," he said desperately. "Everything." Mara stood slowly. "No," she replied. "You controlled everything." Daniel's head snapped toward her.
"You don't understand marriage," he spat. Mara's voice was almost gentle now. "No," she said. "I understand fear." They guided him up the stairs. As he passed the entryway, neighbors had gathered outside again, drawn by the renewed chaos. Phones were raised, faces were pale. "He was perfect," someone whispered. Daniel looked at them all like he couldn't believe they were seeing this. His mask cracked completely for a split second. Not grief, not heartbreak, annoyance. As if he were being misunderstood, as if this were inconvenient. Tessa stood by the doorway, shaking. "You did this," she whispered. Daniel turned toward her, eyes sharp. "She was going to ruin everything," he said quietly. The words made Tessa recoil. Officers escorted him outside. The red and blue lights painted his face in alternating colors. For the first time that morning, Daniel didn't look scared. He looked empty.
Detective Mara stayed inside the house, staring down the basement stairs. Officers carefully lifted the tarp-wrapped body. Olivia's necklace slipped free and clinked softly against the concrete. Mara closed her eyes briefly. Then she opened them and stepped toward the basement again. Because something told her this wasn't just rage, this was planning. And somewhere in this house, there would be proof of it. The house felt different once Daniel was gone. Quieter. Not peaceful, just stripped. Detective Mara Collins stood in the living room while forensic teams moved through the space with methodical precision. Every surface was photographed, every drawer was opened. She walked back toward the basement, slower this time. Without Daniel there, the room didn't feel tense. It felt deliberate. An officer approached her, holding a small metal key. "Found this in his pocket," he said. "Doesn't match any of the main doors." Mara nodded. "Check the basement storage." They descended again. The tarp-wrapped body had already been removed. The broken concrete sat exposed, jagged edges surrounding the dark cavity. Mara's eyes scanned the shelves. Boxes labeled neatly, tools arranged in order. Too orderly for someone who claimed the basement was a mess. The officer moved toward a tall metal cabinet in the corner. Locked. He tried the key. It fit. The click echoed louder than it should have. He opened the door slowly. Inside were stacked folders, a small burner phone, a notebook bound in black leather. Mara stepped closer. The folders were labeled by month. She opened one. Printed screenshots, text messages, Olivia's texts, highlighted, underlined, some circled in red. "What are you doing tonight? Why didn't you answer? I need space. Stop checking my location." Mara flipped through more pages. Every message had notes scribbled in the margins. Delayed response, tone shift, possible influence from Mia. She opened the black notebook. The first page read, "If she leaves." Mara's jaw tightened slightly. Below it were dated entries. March 3rd, increased secrecy. March 10th, mentions needing air. March 15th, research financial exit strategies. The handwriting was controlled, calm, organized. This wasn't a man who snapped. This was a man who tracked. An officer leaned over her shoulder. "This looks like surveillance." Mara nodded. Another page read, "If divorce is imminent. 1. Secure finances. 2. Monitor contacts. 3. Prevent narrative damage." Mara flipped further. Near the back of the notebook, contingency plan. Her eyes slowed over the words. Concrete cure time, 24 to 48 hours. Soundproofing method. Late night window, low neighbor activity. She closed the notebook carefully. Upstairs, Tessa sat on the couch, arms wrapped around herself like she was trying to hold her body together. Mara approached gently. "We found something downstairs," she said quietly. Tessa looked up, eyes swollen. "I know." He had been tracking her, Mara continued, documenting her messages, planning. Tessa's face crumpled. "She told me he'd changed, but she kept saying he's not violent, he just needs reassurance." Mara sat across from her. "Did she ever mention being physically hurt?" Tessa shook her head. "No, that's what makes this worse. It was like being studied." Mara nodded slowly. Control doesn't always shout. Tessa's voice dropped to a whisper. "She was afraid to leave because she didn't know how he'd react." Mara held that thought. Back at the station, Daniel sat in the interrogation room with his hands cuffed to the table. He stared at the gray wall like it had answers.
When Mara entered, he didn't look up immediately. "You found it," he said softly. "Yes," Mara replied. He let out a slow breath. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Then how was it supposed to be? Daniel finally lifted his eyes. She wasn't supposed to leave. Silence settled between them. Mara sat down. "Daniel, why did you document her?" He swallowed. "She was drifting," he said. "I could feel it." "Drifting how?" "She stopped telling me things. She'd laugh at her phone. She'd stay late. She said she needed space." "And that scared you?" "It destroyed me," he corrected sharply. "Do you know what it feels like to give someone everything and watch them look at you like you're optional?" Mara didn't react to his tone. "So you monitored her?" "I protected my marriage," he snapped. "By logging her messages?" "I needed proof," he said. "Proof that she was changing." Mara leaned forward slightly. "Daniel, you poured concrete over your wife." His eyes flinched at the word. "She pushed me," he whispered. "Physically?" "No." His jaw tightened. "Emotionally." Mara let that hang. "You killed her because she wanted to leave." Daniel shook his head quickly. "I didn't plan to kill her." "But you planned for her leaving," Mara replied calmly. Daniel's breathing became uneven. "She said she was staying with Mia," he said quietly. "She packed a bag." "When?" "The night before." "You told us everything was normal." "It was normal," he insisted, "until she said she was done." Mara's voice stayed steady. "What happened next?" Daniel's eyes drifted. "She said she felt small, like I was suffocating her." "And were you?" "I loved her." "That's not what I asked." Daniel's voice cracked for the first time. "I just needed her to understand that she was mine." The word slipped out heavy. Mara didn't move. "Mine," she repeated. Daniel's face tightened again. "Marriage is ownership." "No," Mara said quietly. "Marriage is partnership." Daniel's eyes hardened again. "She embarrassed me," he whispered. "She made me feel weak." "And that justified killing her?" He slammed his cuffed hands against the table. "I didn't mean to kill her." The sound echoed. Mara didn't flinch. "Tell me what happened." Daniel's breathing was sharp now. "She said she was leaving in the morning. I told her to wait. She said no. She grabbed her bag. She said she couldn't breathe around me. And I grabbed her arm." Mara's pen didn't stop moving. "She told me to let go." "Did you?" Daniel's silence was answer enough. He stared down at the table. "She slipped." "Slipped?" "She fell, hit her head." Mara held his gaze. "And then?" "I closed my eyes. She wasn't breathing right." "Did you call 911? Daniel's lips parted, but no sound came out. Mara's voice softened slightly. "You could have saved her." Daniel's jaw trembled. "I panicked." "No," Mara corrected quietly. "You calculated." His eyes snapped open. "That's not true. You wrote about contingency plans." Daniel looked away. "She wasn't supposed to leave," he said again, softer now. Mara stood. "You didn't want her to leave."
So you made sure she never could? Daniel stared at the wall again. The perfect husband mask was gone now. What remained wasn't rage, it was entitlement. And that was colder. As Mara stepped out of the interrogation room, she paused. Through the one-way glass, Daniel sat perfectly still, not crying, not shaking, just thinking. And for the first time, Mara realized something unsettling. Daniel Reeves wasn't grieving. He was replaying. And somewhere in his mind, he still believed he had been right. Daniel sat alone for hours after the interrogation ended. No outbursts, no tears, just stillness. The fluorescent light above him hummed faintly, casting pale shadows across his face. His reflection in the metal table looked unfamiliar even to him. He replayed the moment over and over. Olivia standing in the doorway with that small suitcase, her voice steady. "I can't live like this anymore." He had laughed at first, a short, disbelieving laugh. "You're being dramatic," he had said. She hadn't laughed back. "I'm suffocating, Daniel." The word echoed in his memory now. Suffocating. He had stepped closer to her then, calm, controlled. "You're not suffocating. You're confused." "No," she had whispered. "I'm done." That word had cracked something inside him. Done. As if she could just close a chapter he had written. In the interrogation room, he rubbed his wrists where the cuffs had left faint red marks. He didn't see himself as violent. He saw himself as abandoned. That was the narrative his mind kept building. When Mara returned, she didn't sit immediately. She stood across from him. "Daniel," she said evenly, "we found the bag." He looked up slowly. "The one Olivia packed," she continued. "It was still in the closet." His jaw tightened. "She changed her mind," he muttered. Mara shook her head slightly. "No, she didn't get the chance." Silence stretched. Daniel swallowed. "She was going to destroy everything," he said again, quieter now. "Everything?" Mara asked. "Our reputation, our life." His eyes flashed briefly. "People respected us." Mara finally sat down. "They respected the image," she corrected. Daniel leaned back in his chair. "You don't understand what it's like to build something and watch it crumble." Mara's expression didn't change. "I understand that you chose control over compassion." Daniel's lips pressed into a thin line. "She was mine," he said again. The words didn't carry heat anymore, just belief. Mara leaned forward slightly. "She was a person, Daniel." He stared at her, unblinking. "She promised," he whispered. The weight of that word hung in the room. Promised. Mara exhaled slowly. "She promised to love you, not to belong to you." Daniel looked away. The trial came fast. The evidence was overwhelming. The notebook, the concrete, the surveillance of texts, the timeline inconsistencies. In court, Daniel wore a gray suit. He looked composed, too composed. Neighbors filled the benches, whispering, "I can't believe it. He always waved. He was perfect." Tessa sat in the front row, hands clenched in her lap. When the prosecution displayed pages from the black notebook on the screen, the courtroom shifted. "If she leaves," "contingency plan," "concrete cure time." Each phrase landed like a blow. Daniel's attorney tried to argue panic, emotional distress, a moment gone wrong, but the planning undermined everything. During cross-examination, Mara took the stand. "Detective," the defense attorney asked, "did Mr. Reeves appear remorseful?" Mara paused. "I think he appeared concerned about perception," she replied carefully. Daniel didn't react. When he finally took the stand himself, the courtroom held its breath. "I loved my wife," he said softly. Tessa closed her eyes. The prosecutor stepped closer. "If you loved her, why not let her go?" Daniel's jaw tightened. She wasn't thinking clearly. "So you decided for her?" Daniel didn't answer. The silence answered instead. The verdict came after 3 hours of deliberation.
Guilty. The word echoed louder than anything else. Daniel's face didn't change. No tears, no breakdown, just stillness. As officers moved to cuff him again, he glanced briefly toward the gallery. Not at Tessa, not at Olivia's empty seat, at the neighbors, as if wondering how they would remember him. Months later, Detective Mara Collins stood outside the Reeves house one last time. The property had been sold. A young couple walked through the front door with a realtor. They laughed softly, imagining furniture placements. They didn't know the history. Mara watched for a moment, then looked down at her notes. Case closed, but something lingered. She thought about Daniel's final words before sentencing. I didn't mean to kill her. It wasn't rage that stayed with her. It was his calm, his certainty. He hadn't seen himself as a monster. He had seen himself as justified. Love twisted into ownership, control disguised as protection. That was the danger. The perfect husband, the admired neighbor, the calm voice on the phone saying she would never leave me. Mara had seen enough cases to know something chilling. Violence doesn't always start with a raised hand. Sometimes it starts with entitlement, with the quiet belief that someone belongs to you. Daniel Reeves didn't shout, he didn't threaten, he documented, he planned, he preserved his image until the basement told the truth. Years later, people would still talk about the case. They would say, he seemed so normal. They would say, you never really know someone. But Mara knew something deeper. You often do see the signs, you just explain them away. The constant checking, the subtle isolation, the quiet monitoring framed as care. The house where everything looked perfect until someone checked the basement. Daniel sat in his cell the first night after sentencing, staring at the blank wall. He closed his eyes. He didn't see concrete. He didn't see police lights. He saw Olivia standing in the doorway again. I need space, she had said. He whispered into the darkness, you were supposed to stay. The walls didn't answer, and for the first time since that night, the silence didn't feel controlled. It felt final. Outside the prison, life moved forward. The Reeves house filled with new laughter. The street forgot. But in the stillness of that cell, Daniel finally understood something he had refused to see. You can control a house, you can control an image for a while, but you can't control the truth forever. Eventually, someone checks the basement. What do you think? Was this love twisted by fear, or control disguised as devotion? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you want more psychological crime stories like this, make sure you're subscribed. And when they do, everything buried comes back up.